In this video, I'm going to share our visit to Anna Maria Island, along with some of my thoughts and opinions in the hopes of shedding some light on what it's like to visit what is becoming my favorite stateside beach location. The island was significantly impacted by both Hurricanes Milton and Helene back in October of 2024. And so you may also be wondering what it's like to visit now. And we're going to get into all of that, alongside with a tourist level breakdown and much more. Anna Maria is a roughly 7-mile long island which sits on the southern inlet between Tampa Bay and the Gulf. The island consists of 3 cities, Anna Maria to the north, Holmes Beach in the middle, and Bradenton Beach to the south. We arrived in town on a Sunday afternoon, and our vacation home wasn't quite ready when we arrived. So we decided to grab lunch at the coolest little waterside place, the Bridge Tender Inn Dockside and Tiki Bar. Well, I thought it was cool till I realized it's a total Green Bay Packers establishment. I'm from Chicago, so bear down, but the burger was actually quite good. What can I say? After grabbing a bite and a drink, we headed over to our accommodations for the next several days, which was a vacation home off of 8th Street in Bradenton Beach on a very narrow part of the island. The narrowness of the island in Bradenton Beach is one of the area's charming characteristics, making much of the neighborhood comfortably walkable and waterfront views abundant. Now, as for traffic, that's a different story. Our house was simultaneously a block from the beach and the Gulf on one side, and a block from the Sarasota Bay on the other. If you'd like to see a little more of what some of the beach homes on Anna Maria are like, I have a tour of both the Bradenton Beach vacation home we visited, as well as an example of a Holmes Beach vacation home, which we also visited on the channel. After settling in, the girls decided to go for a night swim in the backyard. Well, I watched football. And before calling it a night, we hopped over to one of the last options open on a Sunday night for a late dinner, the Daiquiri Deck. The next morning, we hopped on the golf cart to go for a drive around the island. And one of the first things, if not most noticeable things we have to talk about, is the effects of the hurricane. I think signs of the hurricane are most apparent in Bradenton Beach, with some of the structures being visibly damaged and there being an overall dustiness to the area from the piles of sand that were pushed inland. However, it seems most establishments were up and running just fine, and if I had to put a number to it, I'd say the island is 90 to 100% from a vacationer's perspective. And let's be very clear, I mean from a vacationer's tourist perspective. But there is one significant Anna Maria landmark that I know of, which was pretty majorly affected, and that we'll discuss in a moment. Without claiming to be an expert, I'd like to talk about some of the differences between the 3 cities and the feel of the neighborhoods. In my opinion, both Anna Maria and Holmes Beach feel a bit more upscale and polished, while Bradenton Beach is more of a beach town. There's all types of properties from old-style classic bungalows to new construction beach-style mini mansions laced throughout the entire island, but one can't help but to notice a difference to the feel between the areas. Anna Maria is the one of the 3 cities we haven't officially stayed in, but it's where Pine Avenue is located, which is a cool area full of beach-style souvenir shops and eateries, and is definitely worth an afternoon visit to at least walk around. Anna Maria is also where the historic Anna Maria City Pier is located, which is unfortunately closed due to hurricane damage as of the time of the release of this video. However, I would keep an eye out because the pier has been closed and repaired from hurricane damage before. And when open, the pier is a great family activity that's absolutely worth visiting and is an easy activity for a vacation day afternoon. If you'd like to see what the pier is like when it's open and get more detail about Pine Avenue, feel free to check out part 2 of this Anna Maria series from our Holmes Beach stay on the channel. There's really a lot of good information in that video, where we also discuss getting around the island and the importance of the Publix grocery store. All right, so we're exploring a yet unexplored part of the island, at least for us. And there's a couple shops right here along Gulf Drive. I can't tell you whether or not they're technically in Holmes Beach or in Anna Maria, but let's go see what we can see. Also, in addition to Pine Avenue, just a few blocks south of Pine, off of Gulf Drive, there is a collection of shops and restaurants we hadn't previously visited, so we decided to stop, park, and give it a whirl. Again, I feel Anna Maria has a slightly upscale kind of feel while still feeling very much like a beach town. We also drove past the vacation home in Holmes Beach that we stayed in during our previous visit. Similarly, Holmes Beach felt slightly upscale while simultaneously feeling very neighborhood-like to us, at least for the area we stayed in near Pepper Tree Lane. In my opinion, Holmes Beach has the highest quantity of traditional style homes while still having a smattering of old construction throughout, with many of the lots featuring a thick green lush as a sort of privacy feature, which is nice. In my opinion, it seems to me that Holmes Beach is the greenest part of the island. I also think Holmes Beach has some of the prettiest beaches on the island, as well as some of the most laid-back beach access points. I think Holmes Beach makes a great option if you're looking for a quiet, semi-private family vacation. But for this visit, we stayed in Bradenton Beach, which has a bit of a different feel to it. Just the overall look to the area feels a bit less polished and a bit more beach town-like. The area also feels busier, not necessarily in a bad way, just like there's more going on. Yet Bradenton Beach was still beautiful in a unique sort of way and has some things about it that are just really cool that we're gonna get into. Another charming part of the Bradenton Beach area is the architecture of the homes, and the city is a good mix of older and contemporary styled beach homes. But I think Bradenton Beach has the highest volume on the island of both rooftop decks and of a certain type of modern chic styled home, which combined with the older construction adds to the eclectic feel of the neighborhood. Overall, the island is stacked with beautiful vacation homes, and although there are resorts, I think home rentals are the predominant way to vacation in Anna Maria, but I don't know that for a fact. There is a free trolley that will take you most places you want to go on the island, but Anna Maria is also very much a golf cart town. So if you can afford to add a golf cart rental to your stay, I do recommend it. And just driving around, looking at the variety of styles of the houses can be fun. We finished our island golf cart tour back in Bradenton Beach, where we took in a less amazing sunset for the evening due to the fog that began to set in the area. Now, we have to talk about the beach in Bradenton Beach. Like I mentioned earlier, I like the beaches better in Holmes Beach, but I haven't visited all of the beaches on the island. One of the reasons I prefer the beach in other parts of Anna Maria Island over Bradenton Beach is the beach is west of Gulf Drive, whereas most of the houses and buildings are east of Gulf Drive, meaning you have to cross over a major street to get to the beach in most places. And near our vacation home, the beach was narrow. These things were by no means a deal breaker, but they weren't really advantages either. It was foggy the morning we chose to hang out at the beach, which made for a unique beach-going experience. It was both strange and beautiful, like something resembling an art film. Still, we had a great time, and the time at the beach was still worthwhile. Next, we headed over to Bridge Street for the afternoon, which is a cool block filled with the expected beach-style souvenir shops, restaurants, and it's where the Bridge Street Pier is located. Our afternoon was a combination of souvenir shopping, walking, and sightseeing. We headed in and out of every shop on the strip, where we did a bit more looking than actual buying. And to my youngest daughter's disappointment, we didn't stop for miniature golfing either, but there is an option to do so. Then we walked the length of the pier where there's the Anna Maria Oyster Bar, which has outdoor dining. I mean, it is pretty cool to dine outdoors on the pier. There's also fishing along the pier, and there's also many people just hanging out taking in the views, which is the category we found ourselves in. As a result of our vacation home being in Bradenton Beach, we spent plenty of time on Bridge Street during this trip, where we also tried out the Island Time Bar and Grill. But this night, after we finished our touring around, we found ourselves in Daiquiri Deck once again for the second time during this vacation. But this time, we sat on the rooftop where we took in some views of the Bradenton Beach area, which was pretty neat. And once again, that evening, we took in another beautiful Anna Maria sunset. And the sunsets are another one of the reasons that Anna Maria is one of my favorite beach towns. I really hope this video was helpful. Overall, we had another great vacation, which just solidified this place for me. And we actually really loved the Bradenton Beach area and all that it had to offer. And truthfully, the feel between the different cities within the island makes the place all that much worthwhile to visit. I really hope this was helpful. Thanks for joining me. Fitness and Beer.